Star Wars.
We have a guest today, Tyler.
Hello.
Sith or Jedi?
Sith.
Thank you. Thank you. All right.
It's
he can be
terrible.
on the podcast.
It's unanimous.
Sith fucking all the way.
Yep.
What is your favorite Sith?
Ooh, talk about putting somebody on the spot for like.
They can be non-canon.
Non-canon?
They can be non-canon.
That's fair.
It can be Dark Jedi too, because there are Dark Jedi that weren't specifically
perfect. Because who I'm gonna say, kind of like is in between there. So I like Revan.
Revan? Yes, I would love Revan. XR Kun.
I like him.
He's like old school, but he's my favorite.
I also really like Darth Nihilus.
Nihilus was nice.
I think he's super cool.
I want more on Plagueis more than the book.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right, Nick,
that's fair.
What about
I agree
you?
with that. Mine, I hate that I sound like you guys sound like cultured Star Wars fans, but mine's Darth Vader. But a lot of my big point, overlying point tonight is actually, honestly, like in defense of that.
But wait, all right, so I actually have an issue with all of the Skywalkers. Because all of the males are whiny bitches.
To an extent.
I mean, you're not wrong.
All of them.
Yeah. Well,
all of them.
We've talked about
even
this
Vader.
Before.
Vader wasn't as whiny as Vader, but at the same time,
because he's pissed off.
Right. Well,
he's like, I have to kill you.
I've watched that clip from Obi-Wan. The end scene where the mask is torn and stuff.
Yeah. And it fixed the canon because his head was all fucked up.
Right there,
and everybody's like, well, how the fuck did that happen? So they fucking fixed that. I like that.
Yep,
I like when they do stuff like that.
Absolutely. See, and there's all these little details that like they can always elaborate on, and that's great. It just sucks when it's something really stupid. That was good though. But the thing I brought up about that scene is that Vader didn't feel like a different personality to me until that scene. Like I always thought like how
that he was still Anakin.
Yeah, he was just putting on the Vader show to deal with his loss, to deal with that. And I feel like I was wrong, but you know, I am not. I think too deeply into things.
See, but this is the thing. So I always wondered, like, they said, like, they lose them to the dark side.
Right.
So, like, does that mean that they're not themselves anymore? They don't think for themselves? Like, they're just completely controlled by the darkness?
There's so wild as it is, there's a lot of Sith
I understand
qualify
you're
for all of
corrupted.
those things that you just suggested.
You're corrupted and you become focused on this power and you become focused on all of that. But, like,
then there's
do you
possession.
Completely lose yourself? Like, was Vader just, like, a completely different person and Anakin was just shoved, like, super deep down?
Yeah.
Like, he just didn't have that personality anymore? See, that's something that's always kind of, like, made me think. Since I was a kid, I've been watching Star Wars since I was 8, and I'm like, so what? They're just like a completely different person?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it makes sense because they're in pursuit of power, and power corrupts absolutely.
I mean, I would be in pursuit of power and eternal life also.
See, but that's why I'm pro Sith, but I'm anti Empire. Like, I really genuinely feel like I'd be an original character in the universe. And that's what I've always liked about Star Wars, is you could want to be a character. There's plenty of people, it was fine, they wanted to be Luke Skywalker. But then there was that motherfucker down the street that was like, I call myself Darth Turtle Dick.
I always
you know, like,
the dark one.
Bow to me, you motherfuckers. And then he just threw rocks at people, you know?
What was your name? You had a Darth name.
I knew I was going to get fucking asked. He helped me make this email.
Darth Fatty Cakes.
It was Darth Colossus, but it was spelled wrong intentionally.
I remember that.
I
never came up with a Star Wars name.
That was
actually no, that's a lie, because there was this game. It's like a browser game called like the Star Wars Combine. Nobody's heard of it. I actually have so many ships. I have a bunch. I'm like rich on this shit. But it's like a browser game. It's real dumb.
Well, I play that.
And my name on there is Cramegdo, but it's my last name and my first name. Like they're just backwards.
You suck.
But it's a perfect Star Wars name.
Yeah.
So you're like Lord Voldemort.
Yeah.
Kind of.
I tried doing that with my name. There's no good results. None. Like none. I hit refresh on that motherfucker so many times.
You gotta come up with it yourself.
I did. I tried.
So let's see. What's your Nicholas?
Exactly.
What is Nicholas backwards?
It doesn't matter backwards or see. None of it's fun. None of it's fun. It's not cool.
It's like
not cool about my name that way.
Did you ever? You guys played Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith for PlayStation 2?
Yes.
Do you remember the one Jedi that you fight whenever you're Anakin in the temple? It's like Sin Drawlig or something like that.
Yeah, that was a good name.
That dude's name is literally just Nick, whatever his last name is. Everything's just backwards. He was a creator on the game, or one of the creators.
Then they had all kinds. They keep expanding on that too. The Jedi that fought in Order 66. I'm digging that.
Yeah, I enjoyed that part of it.
But yeah, the names. There's so many cool names out of, and it makes you wonder how they come up with some of them.
All right, Nick, your name backwards is Ken Hisrep.
See, that's not.
That's actually
no.
It's
I'm
kind
good.
of. It's kind of. You just sound like a fucking weird ass like one of them retarded aliens.
See.
Fucking Jar Jar.
You're like the fat Jar Jar of the Star Wars universe.
I absolutely not. I've done some Jar Jar ass things in my life, but I'm definitely not the Jar Jar. We're both. This whole podcast is very familiar with who is clearly the Jar Jar of our quote unquote group. Be clear.
I mean,
I'm throwing all that
Nick
fucking
is
shit.
the
I want
Jabba.
to. I don't care.
Jabba.
You know what? I was thinking one year of doing like a family themed. Like I was gonna be Jabba, Z was gonna definitely be very cold.
I always wanted to be
and then the kids would just be whatever characters. Like I figured making Ronan Lando Calrissian might be pushing it though.
I mean, you can do the blackface. That might
No,
be okay.
no.
He's a kid.
Yeah,
You got black in you. It's okay.
Right, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Well, now, here's a question then. Is it more fair to just like, I don't know, make Ronan, what's his name? But then does that make, who's Han? Who should be, you can't, yeah, that's fair.
The female Han Solo.
Yeah, so then it's not weird because it's one of the boys.
I want to be.
See, it makes it sense of her choking me to death.
I'm gonna be Fat Mara Jade.
You know, I'm really disappointed that we never got her.
I know.
Because she would have been badass.
Yes.
Did you hear about the graffiti
In Star Wars.
Galaxy's Edge?
Galaxy's
You know
Edge,
what I'm
yeah.
talking about? Do you know about that?
Wait, what? This is Mark.
And this is Nick.
Hello.
And that's Tyler.
He's a little special.
This is our special Star Wars edition.
And this is the Guns and Gory podcast.
Guns and Gory. Star Wars. Da, 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 da. Hey! Guns and Gory. Jibbity wop wow!
Shut the fuck up!
So the Mara Jade graffiti, did you hear about it?
No.
So it was a Bearcat, or what's the language called?
I don't remember.
Oh no!
But it's a language.
We're
It's a language in the Star Wars universe. It doesn't really matter.
Barakesh? No. This is what she's here for. This is her job. Star
You
Wars
wanna hear-
language.
Listen, I want to break in for a second. My kid stole my Gatorade.
Yep.
Like,
did.
completely
No, she didn't.
stole
It's
it.
behind the screen.
It's behind the screen.
You are a simple man.
I was like, that little
You are
brat.
a simple
Dude, she
man.
was drinking it and drinking it.
Batusi.
Batusi. That's the language?
Batu.
Batu. Oh, no. I'm talking about the Star Wars language, not just what they
Isn't
speak
it just
on
like
Batu.
standard or basic or something
Nah,
like that?
that's what the
Arabesh.
Karabesh. Arabesh. That's it. Arabesh is the Star Wars language.
okay.
So every time you see it,
Yeah, it's like almost like hieroglyphs. But
yeah. So the droids speak basic or standard. Where that's what. But anyhow, so somebody graffitied that in Galaxy's Edge in one of the bathrooms. Mara Jade lives.
nice.
But they use the same color paint that they use in other places to write shit. And there's all kinds of messages all over.
So right now they're doing the whole Thrawn, like in the original canon, like that was like a series, and it was Luke Skywalker, and that is when Mara Jade actually popped up. Do you think we might get a iteration of her?
I didn't think about that.
We may, because in the Ahsoka trailers, there is that dude with the orange lightsaber who could be.
Yeah. Well, they're trying to do like, they're trying to bring the focus off of Sith, because there are other dark side users. There are other Force users that are not Jedi or Sith.
Mm-hmm.
And like,
I
love that though. I love that, exploring it. Like, I love the Night Sisters.
Yeah.
Like that. Oh
Darth
my god! And then the new game. I don't know if you've played it at all.
Which
with
one?
Cal Kestis.
Nah.
Jedi
Fallen Order.
Nah,
It's Survivor now.
I haven't. Oh yeah, is that out already?
It came out last week. I got it late. I got it Tuesday because Amazon pre-ordering games. Never going to do it again. I should have got that game the day it came out.
I'm almost done.
He's almost done.
I have to beat it before the Zelda game comes out, because that's all I'm gonna care about. I know we're gonna talk soon.
It's amazing.
Is it?
Yeah.
Amazing.
It's so good. I got.
You get like 5 different Jedi, like the lightsaber stances. Like you can do that's not really giving
single,
anything.
You
can do
the
single. You can do the double. You can do dual wield. You can do a cross guard one, which is like for real heavy fucking, like a long
Kylo
sword.
Ren.
Right. Yeah.
And then you can do the lightsaber and a gun.
A lightsaber and a gun.
Yeah.
I know that like blasters are a part of the Star Wars universe, but I don't know. That with a lightsaber has just never appealed to me.
Ezra had the lightsaber with the gun.
And
he used it pretty effectively.
Ezra took a long time to grow on me. I don't think I started liking him until like near the end of Rebels.
Ooh. Fun gun related fact about Star Wars that both of you will enjoy thoroughly if you don't already know them, but I bet you both do. So how blasters are in the Star Wars universe and laser swords and all that stuff. They also had actual firearms that fired projectiles. Yes. And I guess the Mandalorians used them to be dicks to Jedi. I knew you'd enjoy that. Like, apparently it was a big deal for the switcheroo. Instead of getting a blast of energy at your ass, you're getting a real projectile, and it murked all kinds of people.
See, so we did talk about our favorite Sith. I want to talk about our favorite Jedi for a minute. So, I'm going to go old canon. What's his name? It's from a book called I, Jedi. Something Corran Horn. And he was fucking badass, dude.
Oh, and wait, I've heard this before.
He could, like, absorb. Like, well, Yoda does it. But he absorbs, like, somebody can shoot at him, and he can absorb that energy and use it against them and shit. And it's so badass. And, like, it's the first time I ever saw somebody, they talked about him building his lightsaber in depth. And I just fucking loved it. He was one of Luke Skywalker's students.
And it was a book?
On Yavin 4. It's called I, Jedi.
I bet you're going to want to read that now.
It's so good. Dude, I will let you borrow it.
Is he in the Legacy of the Force series?
I think he's in something else. He is in a couple things.
I was
he was like he was a fighter
before.
pilot. He was like he had an X-wing.
Huh.
Let me. Gotta look this up real quick. But he was my
favorite Jedi. And like, what are we making it like favorite Jedi? That can I be a little unfair? I think it's
Okay, he was a rebel pilot who piloted a T-65B X-Wing starfighter. He served as Rogue 9 of Rogue Squadron.
oh, that's sweet.
Who's the guy that Jaina Solo dates?
Oh, man, I can't remember.
Sounds like familiar, like close to maybe his backstory a little bit. He might just be a ripoff.
I don't know. So they like pulled a little bit of the old stories into, I mean, with Ben
Yeah.
and everything like that.
Oh,
But
the thing.
they should have done Han's son. What is Han's son?
Jason.
Yeah.
I should have done that so much
he-
better. When he went dark, oh my
Dude.
god.
That is my favorite, like, I guess now, non-canon Star Wars story. I love Jason Solo. And watching his transformation into Darth Caedus. It's awesome.
Dude, all of it, man. All of it. Like, Mara Jade. I loved Mara Jade. Anything Timothy Zahn wrote,
Yeah.
like, absolutely love it. And I think he's helping with some of the newer stuff.
I hope
think.
so.
I'm not sure. I saw something. He said something recently. But I'm kind of real curious to see, because one of my favorite trilogy books was, what was it? Shadow of the Empire. With fucking, I mean, that's like the one everybody knows.
That's
like,
the one.
So good.
After the original trilogy came out, that's the story that everybody was like, "This is awesome."
I wanted
Star
that
Wars.
to be the next movies. It should have been. If it was still Lucas, it would have been. It had to have been.
No, I don't think so.
Shadow of the Empire
No,
was
he
the
would've
one
fucked
where
it
it
up.
ended with the clone of Sidious
Yes.
looking just like Luke. That's the part that it's really that ending chunk I didn't like.
Yeah.
Everything else, though, I
mean,
agree,
dude, that shit was
100%.
that was a wild ride.
Yeah.
That's such a good book.
I'm not a big fan of any of the other than Revan, the back and forth between the light and dark, and only because I think it cheapens the whole point of the birth
agree.
of Star Wars, which is is Anakin Skywalker's story. It cheapens his story of anybody else constantly going back and forth. Like, don't get me wrong, Ahsoka Tano being like neutral. No, you're both assholes. I'm 100% for it. Also, because she was Anakin's pupil. Like, so that her being hurt and going that way makes all the sense in the world. Kinda.
So you
Mostly.
want to know another thing I've always kind of wondered? So when you're force sensitive, can you learn how to develop that on your own? Like,
You'd have to
like
assume.
say we're fucking little kids and we're force sensitive.
We're not fucking little kids, Mark.
Like, are we gonna,
that's not this
like,
podcast.
We would have like the faster reflexes and stuff like that. But
Oh,
do
yeah.
you think you could like learn how to like?
Well, you would have to be very self-aware.
Yes.
You would have to know that you are force
I
sensitive.
want to
'cause,
know
like,
if that's ever happened. You know, hopefully they come up. That would be a cool story.
Well, they found where our main subject.
If it were me,
Anakin.
though, I'd turn dark immediately.
Anakin dodged. Anakin used his powers to pod race.
Yeah, but he
Yeah.
didn't
He
know.
didn't develop- yeah,
No, he
didn't
just
know.
had those faster reflexes.
Are
and
you
stuff
meaning
like,
like
that.
somebody that's like self-aware
like
of their?
they're
Like
like
that you're aware.
They're like something's going on.
Right.
But I feel like
And
Can
they-
I learn how
and
to
they-
control this?
Right.
okay.
And they focus
Because
on
I
it.
feel like most of them don't know. Like, they just, it's like,
Yeah.
to them, it's just like a streak of very good luck.
Yeah. Well, and then the Jedi
But then there's
collected
the
them as a
people that
very
can
young
move shit.
children
Right.
back in the day.
yeah, the ability to move shit. I mean, I'm not.
Yeah, well, you
I'm-
have to develop that. You have
Right.
to. It's like a door, right? So the more the door opens, the more it flows through you, and you can use it.
That's fair. That's I kind of agree with the argument about like what a lot of people say about Rey in the first
What?
movie is like, how did she figure out how to do that?
Oh,
How did she? And
like I said,
but
maybe
everybody-
she just kind of.
well,
I feel like a lot of that stuff might come naturally to you.
the explained like reason it makes sense to me is that like you see everybody doing clunky things as they're learning, like how if you rewatch the fight between Vader and Luke in Empire
City.
Strikes Back, he's playing with Luke. It's very clear.
Right.
You know? Especially like once we learned more about Anakin, once we saw where Luke was going. But like he was playing with them. And like, sure, Kylo Ren played with Rey, trying to get her to come to the dark side, blah, 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 you know. She's still like the Jedi mind trick thing. Like,
yeah.
How do you learn that? And I'll say this. I feel like I'm a rather persuasive person. I'm a good salesman, ultimately. But did I just have that one day? No, not at all. I was taught that completely. Like,
you know what the Sith's issue was? So I would use another Sith to learn as much as I could, and then I would just get rid of them.
Well, yeah, that's the point.
That's what they all do.
On.
Yeah.
That's what
you know what, though?
to do.
My favorite era of the Sith is when they had the Sith Empire and the Old Republic. Like, you know, you didn't have the Rule of Two.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Rule
it
of
was
Two
also
was
very
strange.
corrupt, and there was a lot of crazy shit because
in
of all of the
non-canon,
fighting.
the Rule of Two was created because all they would do was like kill each other and
over and
because
to try to do what he said. Yeah.
Right.
I would want away from people. Well, the guys that
this
make
is the Sith
oath,
Empire.
yeah,
Right here.
So the guys that take the oath, the something oath, the Jedi do it. I would do like that, but with being a Sith. I think I would ultimately want
I'd
like
have to
solitude.
be the only one. I mean, I guess I understand the Rule of Two then.
Yeah, true.
Hello, this is Dr. Dickendocker, the mind behind the inflatable fanny pumper and the triple dong dragon dildo. Today, I have a new product I'd like to talk to you about. I'm about to revolutionize the way that you clip your toenails. No more bending down, no more having to bend your legs at all. With my easy 37-part system, I promise you that you will never have to worry about your toenails again. And with our cutting-edge bunion bumper, that product will very quickly become the essential piece of your daily life. Get your toenailizer system today on Amazon and in some select Walmarts near you.
I think the Rule of Two is also what helped them survive throughout the ages. Because if they were just in order like the Jedi, the Jedi would constantly be at war with them.
True.
They would never
They
achieve
like to
anything.
work behind the
But
scenes.
then, like, you know, I hate to bring up dicks because apparently we do that a lot in this fucking podcast. But, like, you know, that's all. The Rule of Two is all fun and games until you have a humanoid pupil that you can assume has junk from, you know, navel below that he uses to reproduce, and he gets cut in half.
I have a question.
You know? It's like, well, he's not going to yield any offspring, and now there's half of him.
So do the Sith enjoy fucking?
Oh, there's no reference
Because
to
they're
that.
corrupt to the Force.
There's no,
And they're like, do you think they enjoy it?
there's
Well,
reference.
Vader would have.
No, hold
I
on.
mean,
There's
well,
reference.
He would have.
Think about this. Hold on. We got a lot of knowledge of Star Wars in this room.
Hold
There's
on,
proof-
Vader can't really do too much.
Well, yeah.
No.
Oh, no.
If it ended up differently,
Yeah.
because
Oh,
he
yeah,
was
he
still
would've been
Vader
totally
before he got,
fucking-
all
Yeah.
fucked up from
Yeah.
Obi-Wan.
Yeah, he had a little bit of a being the.
He
was the
fooled
cocaine
Padme
bear.
for the most part.
Anakin Skywalker was the cocaine bear of the Sith for what, like 20, less than 24 hours? Like, that's one thing I hope they don't try to expand on is like other fucked up shit that Anakin did in that time other than like at the temple and, you know, shit like that. I hope they don't like try to be like, oh yeah, he also had time for this adventure. Like, no. You can't expand on that. It was literally hours that he was the alpha, you know, of the whole thing. Admittedly, but I think by Lucas himself. So, but the thing is, that's another thing. When you lose your limbs, you lose your physical ability in the Force. And
Because
I've
of the
heard people
midichlorians.
always hate that, the midichlorians thing. And then when they made it like, oh, it's in your cells and stuff like that. And then like people are like, no, it was described as a religion, like it was a belief, but it had a superpower with it apparently. And I'm like, no, an all powerful force being within everything, and some people being able to harness it more than others makes far more sense than I believe in something and it gives me power. Yeah. You know, and I know how terrible that can sound in other concepts.
You know what I think is crazy?
But like, I don't think that believing something makes me better. It makes me a little smarter if I know something. But I think believing something and knowing something are two different.
What is crazy to me is that the original Star Wars, George Lucas didn't have any kind of fucking... The backstory was so different.
No budget.
Like, he didn't have any idea that Luke was fucking Vader's son. He didn't know shit.
He didn't know where
he just figured out as he went, and then they made everything. And this huge, giant universe came from that. And he was, like, ripping crazy. Off, like, what?
Flash Gordon.
Flash Gordon and shit, yeah.
Yep. I love so another fun gun fact that you'll both actually.
Is it about Han's gun?
All of them really.
Okay.
No, so all of the guns in the Star Wars universe are based off of real guns. Now you guys both know that I'm a little bit of a stickler, and I really only have respect for the ones that you could replicate and they'll also work.
I want the Han.
So yeah, Han's gun's a really good example. There are a few of them that are 100% like that, but they work.
You can 3D print parts to put on a real one.
Oh yeah, but I'm talking like, well, yeah, but
to make it.
And I know people who have real ones.
Yeah,
but they would cheapen it to be like, I don't want all that stupid stuff. Like I have a broom handle. They're really sought after guns now.
And then like the lightsabers were fucking
the
camera
parts and stuff. Mm-hmm. All the stuff that they did back then was so much more creative than it is now. Cassian Andor's gun is based off of an AR. If you look at it real close, it's an upper and a lower and a grip, but everything else is short. But the cool one is Din Djarin's. That gun that is Din Djarin's gun is based off of is so stupid rare. I've only ever seen like the next version of it. It's like a pistol? One. Yeah, it's like a number one, and I can't remember what it is because I'm not that much of a dork about it apparently. Mm-hmm. But whatever it is, the second version of it, I've seen and held one of those, but not that one. Yeah. And I want one of those ones. I would actually buy one, but then I looked at how much they were. No. No. I've got a weird budget for guns, but nope, I'm good.
Yeah.
On something I'm not going to be able to shoot or have fun with, and I'm just going to be like, this is a Star Wars gun. I may as well just buy a replica, you know? It'd be cheaper.
You know who I think was a little underrated? Maul.
Maul was very underrated.
Dude,
Maul got used in a lot of ways.
I wish he was more live action. Yeah. But it's never going to happen because Ray Park's fucked up.
Right.
Is he?
Fucking asshole. He did something. He's like abusive to his wife or some shit. There's some kind of controversy with him. Really? And they won't fucking take him back.
I figured they were just holding
They were going to for
him.
A minute. I think they were like looking into doing a Maul show. Like how he came out from like how he survived and went to the Night Sisters, back to the Night Sisters, whatever, and like, you know, and speak up with Maul, like Savage Press and all of that shit.
In Clone Wars, when he fights the Emperor, that is one of the best scenes.
Oh, I know.
Like in all of Star Wars. It's so good. It's so underrated.
Absolutely.
And then the one with him and Ahsoka is up there. I don't want to say it's like right after.
Well, and that's the thing.
That was cool because they used like actual motion capture to do
choreographed.
It.
A lot of adults will not give the cartoons a chance because it's cartoons.
And I don't think it's cartoon. It's 3D.
I mean, you see a lot of.
It's still a cartoon. Like for the longest animation. So I'm guilty of that. For the longest time, I wouldn't watch it because I'm like, it's a cartoon. It's for kids. Like I don't care. And then people started sending me like clips of it, and I'm like, "That's kind of cool,
deep shit.
Dude." Yeah, like Maul's arc in Rebels, like, oh my god, like it was so awesome.
Oh, I was.
And then you see how he dies with fucking
with Obi-Wan.
Oh man, that was so badass too.
Well, when we were young, we got that cartoon that they nixed. I think they
Oh, the Clone Wars cartoon for Cartoon Network.
Yes.
That was great. That had a lot of great development.
Yes.
It was like Samurai Jack.
Yeah. Oh, so good. But then they did the Clone Wars, and it was more 3D, blah, blah. Hey, we got Pixar doing great things. So, yeah.
At first, I was really against the new one.
Now, Rebels, though, when Rebels first came out, I literally disregarded it completely.
Yeah, me too.
Because you look at, like, the roundabout, like the Zeb. Zeb looks like a little kid thing. And then, now that I am a fan of Rebels, I feel so terrible for being like, Zeb's not very kid-friendly, technically. Well, the way Disney would like.
Maul was always one of my favorite, like, on-screen Sith. And,
so
like,
when they got him
once
in Rebels,
I found out he was in Rebels, I'm like, oh, I need to watch this.
Yep.
I didn't like the first season of Rebels. I didn't like the Inquisitors at first. I thought they were like I really felt like they were diminishing a lot of the original trilogy.
You know a lot of canon, right? Like old canon. Like it wasn't, there weren't necessarily Inquisitors, but they had people like hired, right?
Right.
They had like Jedi hunters and shit. And then they had the Emperor's hand and stuff like that.
I don't think
so. They like restructured a lot of that shit.
I
loved it how it was too. I loved it how it was.
I think I have a weird alternative opinion. I don't think that any of the Inquisitors are made to be liked in any way, shape, or form. No. I think because
I don't know. Looking back now, I like the Grand Inquisitor. I like him a lot. I like his backstory.
Yeah, he has nice art.
That's fair. Okay, he's like literally the only exception.
Yeah,
like,
he is.
And
the
if
only
you
exception.
don't know what we're talking about, he used to be a temple guard.
Yeah, and he was a good one.
Yes, a very good one. He was very dedicated to the Jedi,
which is so crazy that he fell so hard and didn't become a Sith.
And then he was
a cuck of the Sith. That's what they ultimately are.
They were never officially Sith.
Yeah, that's stupid. But the ninth sister. You want to know what my terrible,
I just
guilty
murdered
thing
the
for
third sister. Was it the
Stop
third?
it!
No,
it's the ninth.
It's the ninth. I just murdered the ninth sister.
That's in the beginning of the game. Don't worry, it's not ruining anything for you.
That's fine. I don't really care about the Inquisitors.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah.
Well, they all die at some point, you know.
Right.
But this is the wild thing about my complaint about the ninth sister. What species is she that I? You remember? Okay. Oh, you're going to have to go down a Star Wars visual path with me. It was in The Force Awakens. There's Mark's titty. Titties. So in The Force Awakens, when they go to Maz Kanata's place, and you got the big yellow thing that was sitting in the corner, and when the bitch is like, hey, there's the people here, da, da, da. And the big thing with the weird horns like coming out of his face this way.
Yeah.
She's like kind of one of those.
I don't know.
But she has like a 14-year-old girl that got a little bit too much testosterone's voice. Like she sounds like just a grown ass woman, but she looks like Kilowog from like essentially from Green Lantern, And she's a big bitch. And did you play the first game?
Yeah.
Okay, you remember her? She. I can't believe I just described her to you.
You need to play the second one, man.
You gotta play the second
one. It is so much better. I used to hate the first one because I'd always get lost.
Yeah.
Because the map's kind of confusing. Yeah. They fixed it.
You know what? The first game, I might get some hate for this. I literally hated the game until Darth Vader showed up at the end. I hated it. I was like, this is not that great. And then Vader shows up and salvages the entire thing.
I always like the lightsaber customization and stuff.
Did we know that Vader was in? I can't remember if you knew that or if you were surprised when you were playing the game.
I didn't.
I never actually finished it.
I know that there's
a lot of like Dathomir and I quit.
There's like a lot of references to him throughout the game, but like I was like, they're not going to put him in the game, and then he shows up at the end and just slaughters.
Ooh,
it's so good.
I love it when they show Vader do his thing because he just fucks everybody up. I hear some kiddos.
Hey, shut the door! Now you got to listen real quietly to see if they actually do it.
If they can be a little bit loud, and it'll kind of.
trickle in.
Our
But when you
mics,
can
yeah,
hear
you can
it in
barely
the
hear it.
headphones.
Mhm.
That's,
But when you
it's
can
too
hear it
high.
in the headphones, it's like, oh shit.
Here, you want to take a real quick
Yeah,
break?
I'm gonna have to cut it in another break because we're at 30 minutes. But yeah, we'll take a break.
Okay.
Can you imagine going out in public again and ugly children not pointing and laughing at you? Can you imagine going to the lake, dipping your feet in the water, and people finally not running for the shore? Do your ankles affect daily life to the point that it isn't enjoyable? Tired of wearing pants to hide those ankles in the middle of summer? Try our new treatment with all the rave by 5 out of 6 pediatricians everywhere. Erectol can finally be you again.
Erectol must take 10 daily injections under each toenail to be effective. Studies suggest that any use of Erectol may lead to early onset dementia, heart disease, and extreme bouts of diarrhea. Do not use if you drink water, eat meat, or masturbate more than once a week. Consult a physician if any hallucinations last longer than 72 hours after taking Erectol.
So we got Mark's favorite Jedi. Tyler, your favorite Jedi.
This is actually really easy for me. I like Qui-Gon.
Ah, you bastard.
I'm not surprised. He was a good Jedi.
Yep.
He's a great Jedi.
He was... Damn you.
He's like the only Jedi, in my opinion, that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he was very aware that you had feelings, and you
Yeah.
didn't try to suppress
He's
them
very
for some
wise,
code.
Very wise.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure that's why he was able to unlock the Force Ghost shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
A almost way of living forever. Or
Pretty
is
much,
it,
yeah.
it's kind of like is it like an echo of them?
See,
Or
that's what I've always
See,
wondered, too. Is it... Yeah.
Is it an echo of them, or is it literally
Literally
them?
them.
So does that mean that they're stuck, or are they able to, from the other side or wherever they're at, they're able to manifest sometimes?
Well, okay.
That makes sense.
I think that Star Wars kind of represents it weird because we have a weird perception of the afterlife already.
Mm-hmm.
We assume that if an afterlife is like that you would be all knowing in some kind of way. Like, oh yeah, I just talked to Yoda like 5 minutes
Yeah.
ago, bro. Like weird, like when Qui-Gon came to Obi-Wan.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, Yoda said what's up too, man. Like you don't hear communication like
Yeah.
that, but they do. But they
It's
are
really-
cynical.
it's an
They can be
important
funny.
moments.
You know, like Yoda is intentionally funny.
But like the Force Ghosts, they
ironic.
come at important moments. So like, do you think there's like some kind of rules around that maybe?
You
Or is
can't
it just-
visit Obi-Wan on the toilet, Qui-Gon.
Or like,
what? Was I? I'm not
mean-
the only one thinking that.
or is it just not answered because it's just a means to get this information to this character?
Oh wait, you know what? I just saw a video of George Lucas about this. Ooh, I can lay something.
Oh,
So George Lucas said he could have let Ben live,
Mm-hmm.
but it didn't. He wanted a division.
Yeah.
And he didn't want what's his name to be Obi-Wan much more because he didn't like it at
Yeah.
all.
He
So
hated
he's
it.
like, I'm killing him, and then using his Force Ghost for this. He agreed to that, and then divided it down into Yoda. And the video itself was actually about why Yoda doesn't have a backstory. And it's like, all I did was make Ben a Force Ghost, and I came up with a little green dude. Like he's like that. That's basically it. And then everything else was just piled on top. But he never had an origin story. And it's funny because like we were like Force Ghost ex machina. If you think about it, that's they just progressed the storyline.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't think that's a cheap
Maybe
way
it's
of
just
telling the story.
It's an echo.
An echo?
An echo of
echo?
that person.
No, I think it's really them. I think it's
Like
really
so okay, so then like they're
personality-wise,
just
yeah.
wherever the fuck they're chilling out at, and like they can just be like, all right, I'm gonna focus and fucking, what's up, Luke? What's up?
Mm-hmm.
That's fair enough, I guess.
Yeah.
All right,
It's-
Nick.
it
So
sucks
what
'cause-
about yours?
Well, unfortunately, I will admit Tyler kind of stole my number one. Qui-Gon is quite a respectful Jedi because he was more attuned to the way the will of the Force. My big thing. If you want to force me to pick somebody else, I will. But Qui-Gon is who I have the most reasons for liking. I think because he was a believer of the Force, like. He believed that the way of the Force, you should not go against it. because the fourths is the flow of the river.
You know,
you have to go with the river. You're gonna drown.
So like, I always really loved Obi-Wan. Like, he's an amazing Jedi. He could have fucking ended Vader twice, at least.
Yeah, he didn't.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but
he just walked away. I was so mad about that. I mean, obviously it had to be that way.
Right.
But I was like, god damn it.
I think that
Obi-Wan could have finished everything, but he couldn't because it was his brother. They were fucking family.
I feel like if Qui-Gon could have been more involved with Anakin's upbringing, though, and I think that's admitted or something.
I don't know. Anakin was
then
just
Anakin wouldn't have been.
And Obi-Wan, he was also kind of a rule breaker and shit a little bit.
Yeah,
slightly,
but necessary.
Yeah,
it was more noble. All of his rule breaking was far more noble. Where like Anakin's rule breaking was him fooling around.
I always kind of thought, though, that the rule breaking that Obi-Wan lets Anakin do is simply just because of Qui-Gon's request for him to train Anakin. If it was just a random Padawan...
Yeah, pause when it's making that noise. Can you hear the noise?
Yeah, slightly.
Yeah. It's feedback. There you go. All right, don't touch it again.
I can't remember what I was saying.
Oh, no. You said
I can bring it back if you need me to.
If Obi-Wan just got some random Padawan, I feel like he would be way more strict with that Padawan than he was with Anakin.
Mm-hmm. We're having difficulties tonight.
I agree with you a lot because they like brothers.
Right.
Way more like brothers. And that's a problem. Unplug it and plug it back in. Lick it. Lick it. Yeah. Oh, stick it back in there. Oh, here it comes. Nope, still sounds like shit.
Why is it doing it? Hold on a second. Let me see if it's the fucking...
Is the stand touching anything?
The mic or if it's the... I think it might be the microphone.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, that's fine. I can opt in on this one. It looks like I'm holding a dick to my mouth.
Yeah, it does. Can you go?
Do we need to go back?
No. I was
okay.
So I agree with you because of the brother thing, and if he was more of his master and not his brother, Obi-Wan kind of like let him do his own thing because he kind of had to know he had to let him go at some point.
Right.
I don't know. I think, what the one thing that hurt me the most is the people who point out if he would have just listened to Mace Windu, he would have everything he wanted.
I always see that meme where it's like Mace Windu has the Emperor with his, his lightsaber. Mm-hmm. He's like telling Anakin how they have to kill him in order to stop all this. And Anakin's just like, I'll let you kill him if you let me have let me be able to marry and have kids. And he's like, and then it goes back to Mace Windu, and he's like, that's a very oddly specific request, but I'll allow it. And then it was like, and that was it. It's the end of all of Star Wars.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna get ahead of both of you on this question because I don't want my answer to be stolen because I don't think I genuinely have a better answer.
Okay.
And it's favorite lightsaber, and I'm going with Qui-Gon Jinn. Mm-hmm. I like his lightsaber. It was one of my first lightsabers when you and I were in third grade when Star Wars Episode 1 came out. So that was my first lightsaber. I didn't even know who Qui-Gon Jinn was. Mm-hmm. I loved it. It was great. Oh, so Revan. I'm stealing that one.
Revan.
Mine might surprise you. Well, you should know because I bought it. Mace Windu's.
Mace Windu, really?
His lightsaber is badass.
I mean,
we should get.
I can 3D print it.
I have it.
Yeah, he has
the one from
like the
Galaxy's Edge.
Galaxy's Edge one. Yeah, it's sweet.
That's cool.
I
don't have I have 2 3D printed lightsabers that I painted and stuff. But
nice.
I want like one that I can put a blade on.
Right.
Should I get him one?
You should get him one.
Oh man!
But I feel like he needs to be there to get it with you, get it himself.
Can I put it in Nick's butt?
I knew
Yes.
it was gonna. I knew it was gonna be something about my butt.
Yes.
See,
It
I'm
has
not
to
the
be
only
sexual,
one.
or you can't get it for me.
Well, yeah. We had one friend that had a force power. Tyler,
Who?
James,
What
Lord
was his first
Byron,
power?
Darth Byron. His force power was simple. He could relate anything you could name to butt sex.
That's a power there.
It was stolen upon his death. It was stolen.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say that I, late in my life, developed the same power. Because I definitely have it too. And I know I'm not giving you an example right now.
All right, that's cool.
I'll let somebody else. I'm going to wait until somebody's like, give me an example. Or can you relate this to butt sex? And I just want people to start challenging me to
I
that.
can bring everything back to butt sex, I think.
Yeah.
Or wieners.
No, see, you go wieners. I think that's weird.
I think
that's
it's
weird,
funny. I
right?
love
Kinda
saying
gay.
wieners.
There's a divider.
It's funny as fuck.
Here's a divider.
Whatever. I hate using this different mic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It does.
you sound like a lot lighter.
If we
You look
can-
at home with something
Let me
phallic
see.
near your
We
mouth,
could
yeah.
probably do a commercial and I can figure it out.
Yeah.
All right, quick
So
commercial.
if you're
'cause I'm
It's
short on
wondering
time.
what's going on, I had a malfunction with my microphone and had to switch real quick.
And Mark's not going to like this part,
Yeah.
but this commercial coming up, it's going to be a Star Wars commercial.
Oh, then it has to be made tonight.
Yeah, that's the point.
God damn it.
Do you like Twi'leks? Want to see a dolphin? How about a sexy Wookiee? We have it all at Dirty John's Sex Canteen. Get your from Carillion Fire Whiskey, huddle up with Shaky the Wookiee, and get all of your needs taken care of. No blasters, Jedi, or droids. Make sure you come out to Dirty John's for your dirty times.
So I want to know.
I can't hear anything.
Oh no.
Sorry.
He's cut off. Hopefully we
Hello.
can.
I can't hear anything. Can you guys hear me?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Very, very loud, sir. Look. It's because you're special.
Nope. Still can't hear anything.
Oh.
Did you break it?
I
Nope.
did not.
I got nothing.
You broke it.
Yeah, that doesn't do anything.
We're having all kinds of issues tonight.
It's weird. Bow. Oh, I'm in.
You're
Oh,
in?
Twist it. Oh, I'm real loud. Turn that down. Oh shit.
Now?
Yeah.
Now? Okay.
All
Anyways.
right. Go ahead, Ty.
Okay, so favorite Star Wars movie. What is it?
Movie?
What's the best one in your opinion?
Mine's always been Return of the Jedi.
Why Return?
I don't know. I like how he went to the dark side for a second. I always thought that was awesome. He was so badass when he goes into Jabba's fucking palace. And
It is
just
a good scene.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, holy shit, like, he's a fucking Jedi now. And you can tell he's, like, tempted by the dark side because of his emotions. And I just fucking love it. And then the lightsaber choreography, just so fucking good.
Which is like the best one out of all the original three.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
So, like,
Return.
all together, like, Return of the Jedi. Fucking
Plus, it's the culmination
masterpiece.
of a story.
Yes, absolutely. A
What
lot
about
of
you, Nick?
people say Empire,
It is
though.
the last bit of film of the Star Wars universe in bulk that you saw for how many years? Until what, 99?
99.
Mm-hmm.
From and Return of the Jedi came
83.
Yeah, well before even you were born.
Yes.
So our entire childhoods and almost into our teens we spent with old, outdated,
Nope.
beat to death stuff other than the
Nope.
books. Other than the
I
books.
read a lot of
Oh
books.
yeah, no. I'm just talking about movie medium where it started at. Like we didn't have TV shows.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have.
Well, we
you
had
know-
the Ewok show.
no that
Did
even
you-
they
or
don't
there were
wanna-
movies.
Oh,
Did you
yeah.
see those?
Yeah, those-
the
Yeah.
Ewok
Oh,
movies.
God,
I rented them.
They're
That's
so,
how
I mean, I
wild
loved
that
them
was.
when I was a kid, but
Yeah, they were good, but they were good to us as kids, unfortunately. I found a lot of movies that were opinionated like that, but I think my favorite Star Wars movie so far, I really want to go against the grain and say one of the newer ones. It's not going to be one of the newer trilogy, that's for sure.
Yeah, please don't.
It's not
Please
Solo.
don't.
I see what they were trying to do with Solo, and they missed. They missed by a little bit, but they still missed.
You know, I actually like Solo. I don't think it's like
I
the
liked
best
it,
Star Wars
yeah.
movie.
It is
like,
good.
No,
I don't
no,
think
no.
it
To see
deserves the
Maul.
hate that it gets.
Right.
No.
Yeah, you get to see Maul. Yeah, it didn't come out of.
I don't care that it's not Harrison Ford.
I don't
Right.
either. So what's your answer?
Yeah, put your phone away. So,
I think it's my phone.
I think it's a combination between. I really, really liked Rogue One. I
Rogue
liked
One
what
is
everybody
really
was
good.
doing there, but I hate Cassian Andor. Like, it's and I love the actor. I like the character, but like the show's hard to get into. The
Yeah.
character was hard.
Yeah, I didn't watch.
Yeah.
I watched one episode and I was like, this isn't for me.
Yeah. I like the Space Wizards.
The Space Wizards. I agree. I'm so pro Mandalorian. All that stuff is
Yeah.
like
I always like.
romanticize
Well,
it.
growing up, my favorite character was Boba Fett.
A lot of people.
I had the fucking ship with the fucking part that came out, and you could put him up in there, and he would flip. Oh my god! I wish I still had it.
Oh well, there's a good question. Your favorite Star Wars toy you ever had?
So I'm super weird. All my Star Wars toys, I never played with.
I didn't either. They sat in my drawer, and I would look at them and look at their lightsabers
Yep.
and like put them, and then I just kind of like look at them, but I would never play with them.
Yep, I collected them.
I did too.
I
never played
collected
with
mine
them.
too. I still have some of mine.
I had all my lightsabers. I had the Shadows of the Empire. It's like in the red armor and the helmet just like came off. I had the helmet. I had all of it. I had Leia with the fucking removable helmet. I had that. Like I kept the helmet. I always had the blasters. Like I was like fucking. I'm ADHD and like lose everything, but that stuff I was very meticulous about it. Didn't leave my top drawer. If Micah came near it, I would break his fingers. I have
More
a
Micah
story
abuse.
for Micah.
Is it a Micah abuse story?
It's
Here we
a
go.
Star Wars one
related?
because listen, me and Micah were introduced to Star Wars when we were very young. I was 8, so he was like 5. And because my mom is very into Star Wars, she's probably listening to this, and she's probably geeking out the whole time because we're talking about Star Wars. And
It's May the 4th, Mark.
so we have lightsabers. They were from Phantom Menace because I remember it being like we had Qui-Gons and Obi-Wan. I had Obi-Wan's and he had Qui-Gon's, and we were playing in the living room Star Wars, and I threw it at him, and he was supposed to catch it with the Force, and, and what happened was he caught it with his mouth, and it broke his tooth in half.
Wait, you're telling me that tooth? I know what tooth you're talking about. It's that one?
Yep.
Wow.
That's awesome.
He was supposed to catch it.
He was supposed to catch it. with
Come
the
on,
Force,
we were
yeah.
fucking Jedi. You're supposed to fucking catch it, man.
Wow. If Ronan were to come to me and be like, I hurt somebody. I Kamehameha him. And then we find out he just threw a brick at his face. Like, I screamed Kamehameha the whole time. Like, all I'm going to think about is like a little kid throwing a brick at another little kid saying Kamehameha. Like,
That's a good question, though, Nick. When did you get introduced to Star Wars?
mine's like super traditional, and I was very young. My grandfather was a wee little kid. I had a real cool experience that ended in a terrible way, unfortunately, was my grandfather went up into the attic. We had one of them crawl space attics. He had to get the ladder, go up in the hole, and then he crawl. It was always weird in the house, in my grandparents' house, because there was only a little platform around that hole, and he went way far to the end of the house for this thing. He comes down, he hands me the original first pressing of the Vader action figure holder.
Nice.
So I have 2. Well, Levi has one, and then I have one. But of the newer ones, like the ones that were printed in our time, and like there's a little bit of alterations between them, but like pretty much overall they're all the same. Like that one, and I think the C-3PO one. So like I have to be a little of a bit of a goober when I answer the toy one, because my favorite toy was always the ones where you could take off Vader's like helmet and stuff like that and see his face. Actually, when you and I were in New York City for the first time, I got, it was the 35th anniversary of Empire Strikes Back, Star Wars Elite Series figure. That was one of the last ones that Disney released too.
Yeah.
So I like your Grievous.
Yeah, Grievous Elite Series.
See, I've thought about starting to collect the toys again, but well, I don't know. It's so much. I'd spend so much.
So in that Vader thing was all the original toys, like the original first movie set, not like all the crazy expansions after that. Like there wasn't a Boba Fett.
Yeah, I want helmets and shit. Well, I can 3D print helmets. Well, but I want helmets and shit. Hold on, check this out. I'm not done with my introduction to Star Wars. You knew it was going to be long-winded. Because you're fucking Tolkien.
Because it's terrible. So I got to play.
Tolkien's great.
Listen, he is, but real fucking boring.
Well, I'm not boring. I'll come over here and lick your forehead. We'll call this boring.
Please don't. You haven't touched me in a while. It's been great.
Anyway, so I got to play. I mean, how many 33-year-old people can say I got to play with the original Star Wars toys, sitting in front of a console TV, watching the first release of the VHS tapes, and just getting Star Wars.
Well, I'm not gonna lie,
hard. That was my experience.
10-year-old me would have been like, "Wow, that guy's a fucking loser."
That's fine.
Even though I still loved Star Wars.
What? Because you watched Star Wars in a trailer for the first time, and I watched it in an alright house. It's the same thing. I'm not gonna look down on you. You shouldn't look down on me. Damn.
30-something-year-old playing with toys. Now I'm like, that sounds like fun.
It is. It's great. I think it was a great memory, and it was even greatly followed up. And I mean, by greatly, I mean terribly, by the fact that my dad hawked all those toys.
Oh yeah, we've talked about this.
Oh, it's one of the things. Okay. So here's the deal. I'm getting real petty in my old age, and this is going to show. We asked a really good question at the beginning of this fucking show: is Jedi or Sith? This is the Sith in me coming out. You have no clue, because I know my dad doesn't listen to my podcast, so I don't care about telling everybody. And if everybody wants to help, if anybody wants to contribute, I'm pro that. I'll get a P.O. box. I want to fuck with my dad so bad, because he ruined that Star. The other thing is this: he sold them before Episode 1 came out, so it like kind of like not a great time. Like it was before Episode 1 was even announced, so he didn't get like premium top dollar. He got like a couple cartons of cigarettes out of it, and that's what makes me mad. That's what makes me mad.
Your dad is a fucking idiot.
Yeah. So what I've always wanted to do to him is on like a holiday, take one of the ones I have. I'll sacrifice it. I don't care if if it ended up smashed. I want to get my Vader that I have, the holder, and fill it full of the repro toys, like, and even like the fake Chinese knockoffs, and stash it up in my grandmother's attic. And then on a holiday, when everybody comes there, be like, Sam, come upstairs with me. Like, we're gonna go look for something at Pap's. And everybody's going to be all into it. My kids, dude, if I took a ladder up the steps at my grandmother's house, the kids would lose their fucking minds. And they would know that were not getting on the ladder. They would go nuts because it's a part of her house they've never seen. And even I was excited about it as a kid, i.e. my answer to the story, my intro to Star Wars, that was exciting. So I'll pull that motherfucker down and I'll be like, oh my gosh, look, they've been here all this time. And my dad's going to be like, how much drugs did I do for what the fuck? Like, he's just going to be thrown for a loop.
Maybe he'll try to play it off and be like, oh yeah.
Now, the one time I ever brought it up in my life, though, that he sold them, I was definitely a little kid, so it was not my place. But he did point out a very big thing. They were his. They did belong to him. But I didn't think that they belonged to me. That's not why I was mad. I was mad because I thought they belonged to the family. I thought they were for everybody because of how much my grandfather loved Star Wars, and that's why I'm very passionate about it. And I have an awkward thing about Darth Vader and like, what is thy bidding, my master?
So Nick,
like, yeah.
How many more times of disappointment did it take for you to realize that he's a fucking asshole?
Who, my dad?
Yeah.
Oh no, that was a flame that went out very fast. That was Jizo Day.
Sorry, I couldn't help
What's
it.
What's that song? If you don't expect too much from me, you might not be let down. Yeah, that's it. Boy, oh boy. I mean, I don't know. That's what sucks too. Is I've always tried to like associate people with cool characters in fictitious worlds and shit. The best I can do is my dad being a little bitch running away from TikTok.
Wait, who do you associate?
Crocodile. Like, I can't associate him with Darth
Who do
Vader.
you associate me with?
I don't know. Maui.
God damn it. What can I say except you're welcome?
He saw that fucking arrow coming straight for his heart. The second the last syllable came out of his mouth, he fucking regretted asking that question.
Fuck you.
Other than that, I mean, I don't know. That's a hard one. He's like, what's his name? Oh, if I could have remembered it off the top of my head, he could be like the dude that the leader of the Death Star. That Vader
Tarkin
Grand Moff Tarkin
had a relationship with a stormtrooper.
Yeah,
it's canon.
Fair. It's canon.
Yeah. It's in a book called
he was human.
In Other Words or something like that, or Other Eyes.
Out here boning stormtroopers.
Oh man, so it was the stormtrooper that they killed coming out of the Millennium Falcon on the Death Star. One of those two. It's TK something. And he had, the day before or something, he had gotten a invitation from Tarkin because he was doing something silly. And then he got an invitation from Tarkin to come to his room, and they had a private dinner and stuff. And he was like all excited because he was gonna get like whatever, he was gonna be put somewhere else, and he could go to like where he could be put on duty in Coruscant, where his private apartment was and stuff. And then they all died.
So it's canon now that Tarkin is gay.
Is it? I mean, not necessarily gay. Maybe he swings both ways.
Maybe, but he likes men.
Tarkin being... Wait, hold on. Tarkin being the Freddie Mercury of the Star Wars universe, I want to explore that more. Tarkin was a very respectful guy, but boy, oh boy, if you added some pizzazz into that, I don't know. I like
TK421. I guess I could read it out real quick. It's silly, man.
Tarkin and TK41. Yeah, that's weird.
TK41. Luke
Tarkin
killed
and
him.
TK.
I guess Luke killed him.
Technically, yeah.
Let's see.
Oh boy.
TK421 was a designation of a human male Imperial stormtrooper who served on Luzon before he was stationed on the Death Star. Where'd it go? In Zero BBY, he worked in the Sector AA345 maintenance unit alongside MSE-6 series repair droid MSE-6 G735Y, but he hoped to secure a transfer to Coruscant to enter the droid on the racing circuit. TK421 caught the attention of Grand Moff Will Huff Tarkin through an accidental hollow recording of himself without his helmet that was displayed due to MSE-6 G735Y crashing into Tarkin and malfunctioning. When Tarkin sent a message back for TK421 to report to his officer's quarters and repair his Aqua Leisure unit, TK421 understood Tarkin's implied intentions and saw an opportunity for himself and his droid to advance. Tarkin and TK421 began a clandestine
Clandestine. I love when you get words like that wrong.
Relationship that progressed quickly.
Yeah.
TK-421 was promoted to station security, a position that Tarkin believed would be safe, and the stormtrooper hoped he and his droid would soon be relocated to Tarkin's penthouse on Coruscant. Alongside TK-710, TK-421's first security assignment was to guard the Millennium Falcon in Docking Bay 327 after the Death Star captured it. The stormtroopers were tricked by Captain Han Solo into the boarding of the light freighter and were killed. TK-421 stormtrooper armor became a disguise used by Luke Skywalker to rescue Princess Leia Organa. Tarkin vowed to MSE-6G735Y that he would avenge the droid's master by eliminating the Rebel Alliance, but shortly afterward, the Death Star was destroyed.
TK-421 is also that George Lucas, that movie, isn't it?
No, that's
TX or THX.
THX-1138.
Oh, damn.
Which the Misfits song "We Are 138" is a reference to that.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what that guy's estate feels about them making his character basically gay or
I don't
bisexual.
know, man.
Well, because
It's a little small short story on
yeah,
but
I bet
still,
that
that's-
doesn't.
But it's
I bet that
canon,
falls
like-
out of. I don't
They
know.
might be. I mean,
Yeah.
I have no idea.
They consulted the family when they used him for
Rogue One, yeah.
canon. It's like fucking legitimately canon. That's amazing.
There's tons of other characters. Like I was thinking about this. There's tons of those alternate characters like that. Like, oh, they had some kind
There's
of
a bunch
relevance.
of books about them.
And there's books. There's at least a little bit of backstory.
I'm listening to the one he's in right now on an audiobook, and it goes through the whole movie, but through other people's eyes.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's a good
I like when they do stuff
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
really
From a
cool.
different
Some of the
perspective,
stories
yeah.
are funny, like that one. Some of them are like more interesting, cool. There's one about a Jawa who's a lot smaller, and it finds like the hollow projector from R2 or something, and like I don't know. It's wild.
I like the story about the
the R5 unit that blew up.
Yeah.
It actually did that on purpose
Yep.
because it was saving R2. Because it believed R2 when R2 was like, I need to go because I have to save the galaxy.
Yep. That was a cool story.
Mm-hmm.
How about the two idiots that were always there for everything? That's not canon, I think.
I'm
but
not
it's like
sure.
it's like a famous non-canon story. It's the two dudes, and it's always like they're the two dudes that Obi-Wan snuck by in the first movie.
So it's like the guy on the toilet on Metal Gear Solid.
yeah.
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 I
But they
love that
always
guy.
have funny conversations and shit, and
Oh, okay. I'll have to look that up.
You got to look that one up. And then there's the one I know you've heard of it. I have to be sure, but the one where the lady, I can't remember if she's a doctor or a nurse, but she works on the Death Star and she becomes obsessed with Vader.
I don't know that.
She starts collecting pieces of him, like scabs, fucking nuts and bolts and shit. She's got a little fucking, it's the nastiest
So
little
she's-
collection.
So
of
she's
pieces.
basically Helga Pataki from Hey Arnold.
Fuck yeah. Oh yeah. And then she fucking like has these crazy delusions of grandeur and like of being with him and all this wild shit. Like she goes real off the wall on the shit. And all for her to just fucking put his saber right through her and be like, there's a mess in my fucking chamber.
Did you know that Darth Vader has a brother on YouTube called Chad Vader?
Chad Vader, yeah.
You ever seen any of those? He works at the
No,
grocery
I've never.
store and shit. Oh man, it's silly. It's stupid,
Terrible,
but
yeah.
it's funny. I
Chad
love
Vader.
shit like that. Anything Star Wars, just give it to me.
Fanboys.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
yeah.
was such a good movie.
Yeah.
Yes, I've watched that many times.
Well, there's a good story.
Well, they had the
Yeah.
it was.
really
They
good.
had the robot chicken
Yep.
Star Wars.
Yes.
That was awesome.
That was good.
I have it
Yeah.
in the box set. Yeah.
Oh.
You know, my girlfriend Stella, she likes Star Wars. She's getting into it a little bit more because of me. but she always watches the Family Guy episodes.
Yeah.
And she's like super obsessed with them.
That's funny.
You learn a lot.
There's
all the funny stuff.
there's so many different types of Star Wars fans. There's like the ones like us where we like just take in as much as we can, and then there's the casual ones that are like, oh, I like the movies. Right. Or now there's a lot of them. They watch The Mandalorian and they've never watched Star Wars.
Yeah, and that's how they got
because
in.
they think Baby Yoda's so cute.
Right. Then they're
Speaking
gonna watch
of Baby Yoda, can we talk about Mandalorian?
Season
all of the newest stuff that came out. It was a little bit ago. Yeah. So why is his name like that? It should be backwards.
What was it?
It should be Grogu Jaren instead of Din Grogu.
Oh, that's easy.
It's the family name.
The whole family name and it being reversed and stuff. That's
but
us.
Traditionally, they took the last name.
Sometimes they'd add names. There's all kinds of different versions.
There's all kinds of Vizslas with all kinds of
But see, you can't. You just can't expect it to be like whatever.
I mean, and then they're their own tribe, right?
Yeah.
Are they gonna get followers then? Why isn't Grogu fucking covering his face?
I feel like I feel like they're letting that. They're kind of letting go of that at least for the time.
So
being.
all right. Now
I think it's smart.
Yeah.
As a community.
Okay, so now a lot of things. I hate the stupid articles that come on fucking on the internet about this shit. Honestly,
what's his name?
So like,
last movie.
So everybody's like, oh, so it's gonna start focusing on what's her name?
Katie Sackhoff.
Bo-Katan.
Bo-Katan. But do you think it really is?
No.
Or they're just going to find another adventure next season.
Well, because Bo-Katan has like a position.
So, according to, what's his name? The guy who did Rebels and Clone Wars. What's his name?
Dave Filoni.
Yeah, Dave Filoni.
Oh, wait. Dave Filoni is my favorite contributor to Star Wars other than...
Him and Jon Favreau.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, but
they need to get rid of that one bitch. That's the only way we're going to get sued is that
Kathleen Kennedy. Yeah, she needs to go, man.
She does. I don't like the High Republic shit.
No, I don't either.
Even though a little bit of it's touched in the new game.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah.
So I guess the current goal for all the TV shows is to lead into a movie that's done by Dave Filoni.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's what I've...
So kind of like Marvel.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm cool with it.
I'm cool with it, especially because I think it's going to lead to like an heir to the Empire type of movie.
Because they're also doing, they're doing a new trilogy with Rey.
Right.
Which I thought she was done.
Yeah. I did too, but, bringing her back.
Yeah.
It's going to be 15 years in the future, which is interesting. I'm like, how can...
and
she's just now starting?
There's no way Grogu's not going to be in it.
Dude, he better be in it. We better.
There's
get,
a couple Jedi. I'm like, I want to see them in movies. Like Cal Kestis. Actually, by then he would probably be dead.
He'd be dead by then. That's
but
way
where's
too far.
he? Where's he during the whole?
He could be
Vader
old.
and stuff,
No,
like
what do you mean?
Luke Skywalker and all that.
He wouldn't be dead.
He might show up at some point, but he'd be older.
He met Vader as a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And Grogu, he'd be old as fuck. That's all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he'd be real old.
Well, Grogu, they live for a long time.
You and I
like Yoda was like 900 years old or something like that.
He's like 900.
But Grogu's only 50.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's why
he's still a baby. Like, well, he's like in his teen years. Now.
Right.
Yeah. I heard something about like him being a diode to Anakin because they were born around the same time.
Yeah.
I think that I don't know if that's fact canon or not. That
I don't
him
think
and
so.
I don't know.
him and yeah.
You know what is canon? Anakin murdering a bunch of fucking babies.
God.
Listen,
We were talking about that earlier.
I remember when Revenge of the Sith, when the movie was coming out, I was so excited for it.
That's my second favorite, by the way.
So I never got to answer. My favorite's Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, okay.
But Revenge of the Sith is like an ultra mega close second. It is so good.
Oh yes.
But I want to see the movie so bad, and they released the book 2 days before the movie came out, the Revenge of the Sith novel. I went and bought it and read it in a day, and the details they give you in the book is just so much better.
Oh yeah.
And so honestly, the first time I watched Revenge of the Sith after reading the book, I was kind of let down because it wasn't as dark as the book. And I like when they describe the scene of him slaughtering all the kids, I'm like, this is fucking amazing. I need this. And then they just like they allude to it and they don't show it, and I'm like, oh fuck you.
All the scared
like,
little
Mr.
kids.
Skywalker, what do we do?
I love memes about that. It's so
Close your
funny.
eyes. What was that? The girl that Carol killed in The Walking Dead. Just look at the flowers. I laughed so hard at that fucking part. It's just when they try to do that, when they try to build up tension like that, and a kid has to die in a movie, it's always so over the top. And in real life, it's an absolute tragedy or travesty when it happens. A kid passing away, of course, it's like the worst thing that can happen. But
I love making references to that.
when they do it in movies, oh my gosh, it's hard to not be funny about it.
Yeah.
All the younglings. That's why I was making that joke earlier about that new the little Jedis or something like that.
Oh yeah.
But they're not on. I looked it up. I was like, oh, they're on like some
they're
planet.
the ones that get murdered.
No, they're not. They're not. Yeah, they're clearly not on Coruscant. So we know that those kids were all murked. But at the same time, I don't know. I didn't look at when it takes place. So they could be the new.
So what happens if
version
these
of-
kids are really into this and want a season 5? Whenever Order 66 happens.
Yeah, what are they going to do? It might take
It's
place
gonna get
after
real
Order
dark.
66 too. Because the one girl has like a purple lightsaber, and I'm like, that was only for
me.
one.
But is
person.
is it considered canon though? The little Jedi stuff. That's
Oh yeah, the reason it's purple, it's actually.
no. I'm talking about that show. Is it actually considered canon?
Oh, I don't know.
I hope
I
not.
didn't look into that. I don't even want to know the answer right now, to be honest with you. Did you have any other? You rattled off a bunch of really good questions earlier, and now I feel like you forgot. Like
I did. I forgot like probably all of them.
I think we hit a lot of good ones.
We did.
We did the
Oh, what's the
lightsabers.
worst Star Wars movie? I want to
Worst?
hear this because I'm
Phantom
going to go
Menace.
in.
Phantom Menace.
You're
Phantom
mean.
Menace?
You're
you think
mean.
Phantom
Jar
Menace
Jar.
is the worst Star
What?
Wars
Oh, you're gonna
movie?
say Force Awaken? I don't mind that movie, and I
No.
don't mind the next one.
We're gonna
either.
agree. If you're going the way I'm going, we're going.
I hate the fucking Last Jedi.
Yep.
It is the worst Star Wars movie ever made.
It's not
Yep.
that.
It is.
bad.
It is so
No,
terrible.
Ryan Johnson.
He butchered
is,
Star
is
Wars.
the Holocaust of the Star Wars universe.
Yes.
And I'll say that to his face. And if he tries,
It was definitely way out in like left field, but like it
no.
wasn't.
You know what?
Terrible.
You made reference to The Force Awakens. I actually really like The Force Awakens.
Really? That's good.
It's up there for me.
It is a good one.
I really liked all the characters. I like how they set everything up. And the reason I hate The Last Jedi is because it just completely undoes everything.
That's one. Yeah, that's true.
It undoes everything they set up,
Yeah.
and then it makes the third one
and
like
then they made it rushed because
Yeah.
of it. All right, I'll agree with that.
when Kylo Ren, how they're getting
But
away
man,
from the
I
whole,
don't know. Like when they're in the throne room and they fuck up.
That part was
Like,
cool.
That was
that's-
cool.
there's some really good moments in it.
But there's
Can
like
we
so
at
many
least agree?
missed. So
Yes,
like
okay.
So I
That's
know this
fair.
is like my fanfic of like what should have happened after The Force Awakens.
Mm-hmm.
I do like some of the stuff they
Is
did.
it erotic?
No,
Can it? be?
like the Rey and Kylo shipping thing that would have never happened in my version of fucking Star
so
Wars.
like they have like that little thing where they can kind of could they fuck through that little
yeah,
force
they
hole?
probably could. Yeah,
Dude.
absolutely.
That would make
That
a long
was-
distance relationship really easy.
She could
Yeah.
just bend over and he
thought
could
about that.
force
You know
penetrate her
what?
from
That's
the back.
some missed opportunity there.
Yeah. Absolutely. Force penetrate. Yeah.
Force penetrate.
Just put her fucking butthole.
She's basically getting ghost dick. It's
I
weird.
got a question. There's I'm correct in saying that there's no way that's not consensual, right?
Well, they had like a.
I don't know. Would it be
connection.
consensual?
Yeah.
Maybe he
I
has
would
a really
assume,
small
I mean-
dick because he has such a big lightsaber. you
Well, he had
know?
to show off his fucking pecs, so I'm sure he has a small dick because he's just
Oh, yeah.
he's overcompensating.
Well, I mean, come on, look how he acts.
He does act like a little bitch.
You know what? It's because he's a fucking Skywalker.
Oh.
All of the
come on.
Skywalker men are whiny fucking.
You know what?
bitches.
They might be whiny bitches, but they would still kill your ass in a
Oh
second.
God, yes. Listen, if I were in the Star Wars universe,
You'd be a
I'd be
Wookiee.
some fucking fat,
a
weird
Wookiee.
fucking thing stuck on Tatooine with a nowhere job, fucking sleeping in a pit of fucking sand and having zero force powers or anything.
Just screaming, fuck the Empire.
No.
Fuck the Empire.
Oh, that's stupid. No, I don't want to give you no force powers. I want to give you inconvenient force powers. Like, you can only do shit if you shit your pants.
I'm like, and then just this fucking boulder flies up in the air.
No. Wait, I got it. You know how they always build up, especially in the Star Wars universe, like, they did it with Obi-Wan, when he, like, had to use his powers to save somebody real quick or something like that, and it kind of exposed himself. Like Cal Kestis. So it's like, fucking Mark saves somebody from something massive, crushing them to death, and then they go, that's the person that noticed comes over and goes, saw what you did there, man. Thank you. I won't rat you out. And he goes, yeah, it just sucks. Every time I do stuff like that, I shit my pants.
Have to wear fucking adult diapers.
Well, no, if you're on the low, you're not trying to like show off your power, so you'd probably get like used to not using them and hiding and doing your thing.
Except
and then all of a
time I
sudden
have
one
to
day
take a
that
shit,
motherfucker kept fucking with that tool.
Every time I take a shit, my whole house fucking lifts up in the air with me.
Oh, that's even more inconvenient. Yeah, you can't shit properly because the force is keeping it in you.
Oh man,
that sounds terrible. Well.
So anyways, we have a Patreon. $2 will get you early access to episodes and some featurettes. We're going to put some videos up soon. I know we keep saying that, but we will.
Yeah, the
videos. I promise.
The videos just require a little bit more art. But we are trying to focus on
we all
work
work full-time jobs. So like we only get like one, maybe a day and a half to even work on stuff like this. So. $5 will get you some stickers. If you're one of the first 5 people, we'll give you a little bit of extra stuff. I'm gonna be meeting up with Joe, our first patron, and giving her stuff. We'll probably post some videos of that. Yeah. She's gonna get some stickers like she's supposed to, and a couple other things. And then our $10 tier, you get love letters. I'm sure you've heard about it before, whatever. Mm-hmm. You know what? You know.
No, and just in case anybody's wondering, there's not going to be a $100 tier where you get like a picture, like a sexy picture of like Tyler just for this episode.
I will put artistic nudes for 100.
You'll post like...
I'll post artistic nudes.
How about this?
You have to be in the $100 tier, though.
I will do this. For $100, I will film me drawing Mark like one of my French girls.
Oh, now we're gonna have to add.
He will be butt naked on my. I'm kidding. He's not being butt naked on my couch, but I will draw him like a French girl. We'll go outside. We'll go down to the park.
But otherwise, we're trying to keep it free. We're trying to keep no advertisements if we can.
Well, other than ours,
we have a lot of fun with those. Any support you can give us helps. Share, like, rate us, give us feedback, please.
Comments.
Let us know what we're doing wrong. Let us know what we're doing right. Troll me. If you want to hear us talk about some kind of subject, let us know, and we'll try to accommodate for you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And especially if you want to just give us an idea and let us run with it, that's
and tonight perfection. We had a guest, Tyler.
Tyler Yancetich.
He's a cool guy. Do you want to say anything?
No.
Well, there you go.
That wasn't scripted.
So,
yes, it was. No, it wasn't. Now you're wondering.
This is Mark.
And this is Nick.
Hi.
And that's our special friend Tyler. And
May the fourth be with you.
Oh, yes. But this is coming out, the Revenge of the Sith.
Revenge of the Sith.
That reminds me, I had a receipt today that was 666, and it was super fun.
Oh, boy.
Yeah!
Yeehaw! Well, hello. This is Z, and you guys have been listening to the Guns and Gory podcast. Written and produced by Mark Hodge and Nick Parrish. Audio engineering by Mark Hodge. Recorded in Fat Boy Studios via Sir Nicky's Love Castle. Media manager is me, Z. We'd like to thank all of our friends and family for the amazing support and all of you awesome people listening in. Please join our Patreon for fun extras and behind the scenes with the guys. You can find us at patreon.com/gunsandgory. That is guns, ANDGORY. You can also find us on the Facebook, Instagram, and the YouTube at Guns and Gory. Thank you so much for listening, and please comment, like, share, subscribe, have a few carrier pigeons. We'll take them all.